Now, according to the Ministry of Finance and Planning, for the financial year ending 2024, the NHT collected in income Jamaican $43 billion in income. Now, with an employed labor force in Jamaica of about 1.27 million people, the NHT is delivering less than 0.18% of houses or housing completions for our working population.
Are you sure? That is less than 1%. Wow. Continue.
0.18% of houses or housing completions. So the truth is, instead of building houses for our people, the NHT is actually taking a percentage of workers and employers' salaries to build cash in the bank. And this approach by the NHT is untenable and contrary to its original mission. Yet each year, they embark on what I call a promotional display of misinformation. Because they reported to Parliament earlier this year that they intend to start about 15,000 new housing solutions for this financial year. And when I heard it, when I read it, I said, this must be imagined. Because in the same report that they say this, they reported that they delivered only 1,627 solutions for 2023, and they've never exceeded 2,700 solutions annually since 2018. And go and check the Jamaica Public Bodies report of 2024 to 2025 to see that information. And I should also mention that these small, unimpressive deliverable statistics come with NHT executives making substantial salaries. Over 13 of their executives are earning above $16 million in annual salaries.
Now, the reason why I put this bit here in sort of purple is because she did mention that for the combined or aggregated salaries between 22 and 23, 161,673 houses is sort of the amount of houses delivered for all the aggregated salaries of all the senior executives. Now, if you divide that by sort of 13, obviously you don't get this, you get this. And again, it just shows you, this is just breaking it down for each executive as opposed to the aggregated amount for all 13 executives. And it's the same here between 2018 and 2022. You might turn around and you might say, well, this doesn't really say much, because when you look at figures like the NHT income of 43 billion, which is the 2024 financial year from the Ministry of Finance, you won't get this from the NHT's website. This is on the Ministry of Finance according to Lisa Hanna. Now, this here, which is mentioned, a lot of people, when I discussed this, they said, well, she's not really saying much when she quoted these figures, because okay, we get the 0.18%, it's dismal amount, it's less than even 1%, but this doesn't really say much. What is he saying here? So I said, you know what, let me pull these other figures he mentioned and let me work it in a chart to give a better perspective. So now what I did is I took the NHT income, which is here. I took the combined salaries of all the executive, which is this, and then I tied in the delivered houses. So if we look up here where it says delivered houses, that's the figure that we're looking at for the year 2022-2023. So when you look at the delivered houses, when you look at the NHT income, and when you also look at the combined salaries, obviously, of all the executives, which is this up here, which is the same thing as this figure here, when all the different executives combined, when we look over here, this is a better representation visually. And I used the donut in keeping with the same theme in terms of how the NHT represented this type of information on their PDF, which I'm going to look at next. So here you have a combined salary of 45%, delivered houses 13%, which is dismal in comparing. So in other words, the NHT's got 42% in terms of its income. 45% is going towards combined salaries of all the executive. But yesterday, the amount of houses delivered is 13%. Now, in that regard, when you look at this figure here, what she's mentioned doesn't really illustrate what she was really trying to say, which is value for money. You understand me? But when you look at it this way, you begin to see that definitely this is not value for money, because if you look at the income, if you look at the combined salaries and then the amount of houses delivered, this is underperforming at best. So I think this is a better representation of how to look at it. Now they're going to give you their own, donut charts and pie charts and bar graphs and all type of stuff, but you can pull figures and do your own workings like I've done, and you can see, and you get to see some other pictures that they're not really showing you, because this doesn't really say much in that regard until you look at something like this, which tells a different picture using the same figures they're using. So you can use figures to make something look good, or you can use figures to make something look bad. The same exact figures.